Hi, and welcome to Zelda Month. Yeah!
Hey, who do you think you are? The box is your grandma.
No, I just thought.
It's not even November. You suck.
Well, now's as good a time as any.
This video couldn't wait 9 months.
I didn't want the translation of the Legend of Zelda cards for the Barcode Battler II to become old news.
Nobody cares about that.
Actually, they do. I've been contacted twice in the last year to get this done, and it's what triggered the site redesign for my Barcode Battler website.
You talk too much.
So do you. Greetings, Barcode Battler fans, and welcome to my overview of the Legend of Zelda cards for the Barcode Battler II. While these have been around in Japan since 1992, 30 years now, there's been a lot of speculation by the English-speaking fan bases of both The Legend of Zelda and the Barcode Battler.
Even the CD, I have more fans than the Barcode Battler.
Quiet you. Just to put this rumour to rest, yes, there is connectivity between the Super Famicom and the Barcode Battler II. No, these cards have nothing to do with The Legend of Zelda, Triforce of the Gods on the Super Famicom. The card art is based on the characters from Triforce of the Gods, but that's it.
Triforce of the Gods is not one of my games.
Actually, it is. That's the original Japanese title, which would become localized as a link to the past outside of Japan. These cards were intended to be played in one of two ways, either with the Barcode Battler II in its C2 mode, or with a dice.
Ganon wants to say something.
What is it, Ganon?
Dice is not real, not think you know is die.
Everyone says dice these days. It's called the evolution of language.
Your face is a disgrace.
Throw the book at him, Link.
No, not into the pit. It burns.
So, without any more silliness, let's take a look at these cards in depth. The Sanctuary of the Triforce has been transformed into a dark world which reflects Ganon's desires. However, Ganon is not satisfied and is planning to take possession of Hyrule, the world of light. To do this, he must first break the seal by sacrificing the daughters of the Seven Sages. At the hands of Priest Aghanim, this is about to happen. As the hero, you will explore the worlds of light and darkness and defeat Ganon, the evil king who is the source of malice. There are many mysteries and monsters waiting for you. The Legend of Zelda is about to begin. If you're familiar with the Legends of Hyrule as outlined in the manual for A Link to the Past, you'll notice that the story I just read bears about as many similarities as differences to it. There's mention of Ganon being sealed into the Sanctuary of the Triforce, which he had transformed into a dark world, as well as Aghanim, all of which exist in both versions. But the Japanese version says that Aghanim is a priest, whereas he's a wizard in the English language version. Also, there's mention of sacrificing the daughters of the Seven Sages, whereas the English language version tones this down to Aghanim needing to use their life force in order to break the seal and release Ganon. Before playing, you'll need either a Barcode Battler II in C2 mode or a D6 to hand. Take Link and the Heart card from the deck and shuffle the remaining 28 cards. Now lay the rest down face up in a triangular pattern like this. This is your game world. From here the two versions of the game play out with significant differences, so I'll start explaining C2 mode. 1. Turn on the Barcode Battler II. 2. Press the select button until C2 is displayed, then press the set button. 3. Scan in the Link card, followed by the Link Magic card, the latter of which you'll need to return to the game world. 4. Press the set button to continue. The Link card acts as your player piece. Choose any card from the outer edge as your starting point. If the Link card is on an item, take it from the world and add it to your hand. If the Link card is on an enemy, a battle is about to begin. Scan the enemy into the Barcode Battler II. When their stats appear, it is time to select between the soldier symbol for Link or the wizard symbol for Link Magic. Note that you're not allowed to choose Link Magic if you have yet to collect this card, or if the enemy card has a star symbol next to its number. Press Set and then choose an item card. Scan in your chosen item or press the Set button to skip item scanning. Items will have different effects. For example, some will cause Link to deal triple damage against certain enemies, or make Link less likely to miss an attack. With your battle in progress, the LEDs at the bottom of the handheld tell you when it's your turn to attack, or if it's the enemy's turn. You have a few options when it's your turn. The L power button allows Link to heal, at the cost of 1 to 3 survival points. The amount of health recovered is very random. The L battle button starts an attack. There's a small chance that this won't connect, but this is also true for your opponent. The Select button opens the survival and magic screen. Press Select again to switch between survival points or magic points, the latter of which are only available to Link Magic. For survival points, press the Select button to choose from 1, 2 or 3 survival points. Then press the Set button to apply the selection. Magic points are used by spells, the effects of which are on screen now. Pause if you want to read about each spell, but there's about 10 spells to explain and this section is going on long enough already. The battle is over when either combatant's health points are reduced to 0. Defeated enemies can be added to the discard pile. If the player is defeated, it's possible to switch to the other character if they have any health points remaining, but the restrictions to Link Magic still apply. Once an enemy has been vanquished, Link may move on to any neighbouring card. Some enemies reward Link with a passcode, but you have to check for it. When an enemy falls, the game shows a reward screen, which is usually 1 or 2 stat increases. Press L power on this screen and you may find a passcode, which has the letter P followed by 5 numerical digits. Make a note of this. Pressing Set on the reward screen moves the Barcode Battler on to waiting for the next enemy card to be scanned in. Press the L power button here to enter the passcode entry screen. To enter a passcode, press Select to advance the current digit and Set to confirm and move on to the next digit. A successful passcode entry will grant Link a substantial stat increase. Note that there are many passcodes, all with different stats for Link. Entering a weaker passcode than the last one used will lower Link's stats. With the battle over, it's time to move Link. Link cannot jump over empty spaces unless he's in possession of the Magic Cape or Pegasus Boots, which may each be used once for this purpose. Strangely, the hookshot can't be used for jumping gaps. Gaps larger than 1 space cannot be crossed at all. Stacking the Magic Cape and Pegasus Boots isn't allowed. Be careful not to cut yourself off from useful items or Ganon. If you can't reach Ganon, the game is over. For D6 players, the setup is a little different. Instead of putting the heart card into your hand, here it serves as your life meter. Place it face up to begin. Items are placed below the Link card when equipping them for a battle. In this mode, the Link Magic card counts as an item. D6 battles work a little differently. Roll the dice, and if the number on the card is less than or equal to the number on the dice, Link wins the battle. As you can see, some enemies have a number greater than 6, which is where the items come in. Add the number on the card if a weapon is in use. Magic cards afford Link an extra roll of the dice. Defeated enemies are turned over and added to a special heart pile. Most enemies hold a piece of heart, either a quarter, half, or whole heart. For each completed heart Link has, add 1 to his dice roll. In this way, Link grows stronger as he defeats more enemies, and seemingly impossible opponents become beatable. If Link loses a dice roll, turn the heart card over to show Link has taken damage and has 1 heart left. If Link had only 1 heart at the start of the dice roll, the game is over without the red potion. If you have the red potion in your hand when Link loses his last heart, restore the heart card to being face up, at the cost of using the red potion once. In both modes of play, limitations apply to the number of uses each card has. The boomerang, hookshot, and silver bow and arrow may each be used as many times as you like. The bomb, Katengiri or spinning slash, magic cape, and boots of Pegasus may only be used once each before being discarded. The red potion and magic decanter may each be used twice per game for C2 and D6 modes. Additionally, the heart card may be used twice in C2 mode, but is the life meter in D6 mode. 2 use items must be turned face down after their first use to show that they have 1 use remaining. After that, they must be put into the discard pile. For all players, the goal is to reach and defeat Ganon. Follow the previously outlined rules, and you too can have the bragging rights of being a gaijin who managed to beat this game properly. With the graphical limitations imposed by the Barcode Battler II compared to the Super NES, I can understand how this version of the game would lack the same wider appeal that the original had. The main draw is the artwork on the cards, and while it does use the C2 mode of the Barcode Battler II without any changes to the way that works, it's not as linear as the original C2 campaign thanks to the random layout and the amount of choice given to the player. The option to use a D6 is also a nice inclusion. You can buy this set as a Legend of Zelda fan and not need a Barcode Battler II to be able to play it. For the Barcode Battler collectors out there, you can play these cards on the Tomy and Irwin versions of the hardware. After all, they're the same as the Barcode Battler II, but with different decals.
Hey, you left me out of the gameplay part.
I wanted people to understand what was being said. No room for sentence mixing in there. But you could check my emails, see if I have any sponsorship offers.
It's empty. Nobody watches your videos.
A few people watch them, and to you, I'm very grateful.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Now, I'll read the list of Patreon supporters. Your Patreon rewards suck.
My next Patreon reward is the English version of the manual for this game. Help me to keep the translations coming, and I'll give you early access.
You'll have to do better than that.
How about the manual for the Dragon Ball Z version of Super Barcode Wars?
It's not head, it's E.
For the American audience, perhaps.
You should thank Adam.
Of course. Thanks, Adam. You've saved me loads of time with the high-res scans needed for the OCR part of the process.
Also, you got this email from Billy in Australia.
Great. What does it say?
The Barcode Battler is done.
Well, that's cheap, but it could take a few weeks.
I can't wait that long. I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok.
That's not a card, unfortunately.
The Goma.
404, card not found.
The Dongos.
Sorry, Link.
It sure is boring around here.
I think it's time you went back to Hyrule.
Sure, right after you get me my rubies.
You'll get 50% of the rubies I get from Patreon supporters over the next month. Now get on that ship.
It won't feel boring.